Beloved, there are words so charged with divine power that when spoken with unwavering faith, they release unseen forces to move mountains of lack and usher in rivers of abundance. Life responds not to fear or doubt, but to the commanding voice of truth spoken with authority. The universe is ever ready to obey the call of your spirit, and money itself is but a servant awaiting your command. Today I reveal 3 sacred words, a decree that magnetizes wealth swiftly and without struggle. Utter them with conviction, and in just 2 days, doors of prosperity shall swing wide. A creative power of spoken words shapes financial destiny, for words are not mere sounds carried into the air, but vibrations of spirit, clothed in thought and charged with intention. Every utterance sets into motion forces seen and unseen, weaving patterns into the tapestry of your life. When you speak, you are not only communicating with those around you, you are commanding the substance of the universe, giving form to the invisible, and molding it into the visible. Words are seeds, and when spoken with conviction, they take root in the fertile soil of consciousness, blossoming into circumstances, opportunities, and experiences that match the energy they carried. Many dismiss the power of language as symbolic, but those who understand spiritual law know that words are creative decrees, vehicles of power, and instruments of manifestation. The wealth or poverty of a person often mirrors the affirmations and declarations they have repeated, whether knowingly or unknowingly, for the subconscious mind accepts every word spoken with feeling as truth and then sets about to bring it into expression. To speak words of lack, limitation, and struggle is to write those experiences into the ledger of your destiny. When a person continually says, "I cannot afford this," or "money never comes to me," those words become commands, instructing life to mirror such beliefs. Conversely, when one declares, "I am supplied, I am prospered, I am abundant," those words imprint the subconscious and summon opportunities, connections, and resources to support that reality. Just as an architect uses blueprints to shape a building, your words sketch the design of your financial future. If your language is filled with doubt, then you are constructing walls of delay. If your language is filled with conviction, then you are laying foundations of prosperity. Every sentence is a brushstroke, and the canvas of your life is painted by the declarations of your lips. It is not enough, however, to simply speak words without faith, for the spirit behind the words determines their effectiveness. Empty repetition is like scattering seeds upon barren ground, but words spoken with deep conviction are planted in rich soil, watered by belief, and warmed by the light of expectancy. When you say, "I am wealthy," with a heart full of doubt, the universe hears the contradiction and reflects confusion. But when you declare, "I am wealthy," with absolute certainty that unseen supply is already yours, life rushes to confirm that decree. Spoken words align thought, emotion, and spirit into one direction, sending forth a clear vibration that draws unto itself all that resonates with it. This is the mystery behind affirmations and declarations. They are not mere positive thinking, but divine commands that reshape the unseen substance of reality. Financial destiny is not shaped by chance or circumstance alone, but by the continual stream of words that flow from the lips of the individual. The rich often speak words of increase, expansion, and confidence, while the poor often reinforce their conditions with words of fear, doubt, and insufficiency. The difference lies not in fate, but in the language used to converse with life. When one says, "Opportunities are everywhere for me," the subconscious begins to notice opportunities it would have otherwise overlooked. When one says, "Money finds me easily," the mind becomes attuned to pathways of flow. This is not superstition but spiritual law at work. For consciousness shapes reality, and words are the tools through which consciousness expresses itself. The vibration of your language is the magnet of your experience. Consider how words have moved entire nations, shifted economies, inspired revolutions, and created legacies. If words carry such collective power, imagine the force they wield in shaping your individual life. A single decree, spoken with unwavering belief, can set into motion a chain of events that bring financial blessings beyond calculation. To say, "I walk in divine abundance," is to summon that reality into your path. To affirm, "Every resource I need is already on its way," is to command life to deliver. The power lies not in idle wishing, but in spoken certainty. Each time you declare prosperity, you engrave it deeper into your consciousness, until the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. Spoken words are spiritual commands, and financial destiny bows to the authority of those who know how to wield them. This is why silence in the face of lack is dangerous, for unspoken truth leaves the field open to fear and doubt. To counter every thought of insufficiency, one must speak words of sufficiency. To break every appearance of debt, one must declare words of freedom. The tongue must not be left idle, for it is the rudder of destiny, steering the ship of your life toward prosperity or poverty. Those who discipline their speech, refusing to confess limitation, gradually transform their conditions, for life yields to consistency. It may appear slow at first, but just as the repeated drip of water can carve stone, so too do repeated words of abundance carve new channels of supply. Words spoken daily, with faith and gratitude, build momentum, until wealth flows naturally and inevitably. Financial destiny is not a mystery when viewed through the lens of the spoken word. Every bank account, every investment, every opportunity you attract, is in some way a reflection of the language you habitually use. To align your words with abundance is to open the gates of prosperity. To misuse your words with negativity is to shut them. The choice rests with the individual, and the responsibility is undeniable. Words are the most accessible tool of creation, requiring no wealth to begin with, no special education, no elaborate ritual, only awareness and faith. The one who chooses to speak abundance, gratitude, and prosperity sets in motion a destiny of wealth. For life cannot withhold from one who speaks with authority and conviction. The creative power of spoken words is the architect of financial destiny, and he who understands this law can reshape his world into one of limitless supply. Money is an obedient servant, responding to your command. For money is not master but messenger, not ruler but instrument, awaiting direction from the consciousness that wields it. Too many people live as if money were a tyrant that controls their fate, as if it holds power over their freedom, joy, and opportunities. But in truth, money has no will of its own. It reflects and amplifies the beliefs, emotions, and words of its possessor, coming or going in response to the commands spoken into the atmosphere of thought. When a person treats money as scarce, hard to obtain, or untrustworthy, it obeys that instruction by appearing scarce, fleeing quickly, or remaining elusive. When a person treats money as abundant, faithful, and flowing freely, it responds by multiplying, gathering, and arriving with ease. The servant can only act according to the orders it has been given, and those orders are written in words, thoughts, and beliefs. The wise soul understands that money is not to be chased but commanded, not to be feared but directed. To say, "Money serves me," is to put it into its rightful position, beneath your authority as a child of divine supply. Money is meant to circulate, to flow, to accomplish purposes, to support expansion and growth, yet it waits for you to assign it those roles. Without clear instruction, it may appear stagnant, scarce, or misused. But when you consciously declare, "Money comes to me to fulfill my divine purpose," or "Money flows through me to bless myself and others," you have given the servant a clear mission, and it rushes to fulfill it. Money is impartial, carrying no morality of its own. It simply magnifies the intention of the one who holds it. In the hands of fear, it breeds anxiety and control. In the hands of love, it multiplies blessing and opportunity. The servant mirrors the master. Every statement you make about money is a command, whether you realize it or not. When you complain, "I never have enough," you are issuing an order for insufficiency, and money complies. When you sigh, "Money slips through my fingers," you are commanding instability, and the servant obeys by vanishing. When you affirm, "Money is always working for me," you give it the role of a faithful helper, and it moves into action on your behalf. The subconscious mind, in alliance with the universal law, hears every word and translates it into conditions. Just as a servant listens carefully for instruction, so too does money listen carefully to the vibrations of your words and emotions. It will not resist you. It will not argue with you. It will not choose its own path. It will simply do as it is told. The tragedy for many is that they unknowingly issue destructive commands. From childhood they may have absorbed beliefs such as, Money is the root of all evil. It's hard to make a living. Or, rich people are greedy. And these words continue to echo as unconscious instructions. Money hears those commands and acts accordingly, avoiding the one who resents it, staying scarce for the one who mistrusts it, creating struggle for the one who believes it requires endless effort. Yet the servant is innocent. It only reflects the authority given to it. The moment one changes the instruction, the servant changes its behavior. The moment one declares, "Money loves me," or "Money flows to me with ease," the servant begins to follow the new order. It does not hold grudges. It responds instantly to new directions given with faith and repetition. To treat money as a servant is to rise above fear and reclaim authority over your financial life. Fear whispers that money controls you, that without it you are helpless, that it is the master holding the keys to freedom. But faith declares that money must obey your words, that it is powerless except for the meaning you assign to it. When you know this, you stop bowing before money, chasing it, or resenting it, and instead you stand as the master who commands with calm certainty. The servant responds not to desperation but to clarity, not to panic but to authority. If you declare in fear, "I must get money quickly or I'll be ruined," the servant hears confusion and manifests chaos. If you declare in peace, "Money arrives to me at the perfect time and in perfect ways," the servant hears order and manifests harmony. The energy behind your command is as important as the words themselves. For a trembling voice instructs weakness, while a confident voice instructs strength. Money delights in being given clear purpose. When you say, "Money serves my freedom," it moves to create freedom. When you say, "Money serves my family," it rushes to meet their needs. When you say, "Money serves my expansion," it brings opportunities for growth. But if you never instruct it, if you treat it as an unpredictable force that comes and goes without reason, it will appear exactly as such. The servant without orders wanders aimlessly, yet the servant with a mission becomes powerful, efficient, and loyal. Money is energy, and energy must have direction. Without direction it disperses, with direction, it concentrates and multiplies. This is why those who speak clearly about their financial desires, who assign money a purpose, often see it gather to them in abundance. They have given the servant something to do, and it obeys. The mistake many make is to speak to money as though it were an adversary. They scold it, fear it, complain about it, and then wonder why it resists them. To command a servant harshly is to provoke rebellion, but to command with respect and authority is to invite loyalty. Money responds to gratitude and praise just as surely as it responds to resentment and blame. To say, "I am grateful for the money that serves me today," is to strengthen the bond between master and servant. To say, "I bless the money in my life," is to invite it to increase. Gratitude is the oil that keeps the servant moving smoothly, while complaint is the dust that clogs the gears. Money enjoys being welcomed, appreciated, and put to good use, and when it is, it multiplies its presence. The servant who feels valued becomes more eager to serve. Financial mastery, then, is not about working harder to chase money, but about learning to issue clear, consistent, faith-filled commands. It is about retraining your words, shifting from declarations of lack to declarations of abundance. It is about treating money as the obedient servant it is, never placing it above yourself, never fearing its absence, but standing firm in the authority of your spirit. Every time you affirm, "Money serves me faithfully," you strengthen the servant's role. Every time you declare, "Money is flowing to me right now," you accelerate its movement. Every time you say, "Money is my obedient helper," you reinforce the truth of the law. Words are the commands, and money, being an obedient servant, cannot resist but to comply with the master's decree. Faith and conviction activate rapid manifestation. For without belief, words are but empty echoes drifting into nothingness, but with belief, they are charged with creative fire, alive with power that summons the unseen into form. Faith is the key that unlocks the vault of abundance, and conviction is the force that holds the door open until supply rushes forth. Many speak affirmations without results, because they recite them as hollow phrases, doubting their truth, canceling them with fear, and diluting their power with hesitation. But when one speaks with absolute certainty, When every fiber of their being agrees with the words, manifestation becomes swift, sometimes startlingly so. Faith does not wait for evidence. It declares the unseen as already accomplished. Conviction does not tremble at appearances. It stands firm in the knowing that reality must bend to spiritual law. Together they form the engine that propels words from mere sounds into living decrees. Rapid manifestation is not a matter of chance or fortune, but of alignment. When faith and conviction are present, the mind, the heart, and the spirit all move in harmony, producing a vibration so clear that the universe must respond. Imagine a person declaring, "I am prosperous," while inwardly doubting, fearing bills, and expecting disappointment. The words fall powerless, for the vibration is fractured. Now imagine a person declaring, "I am prosperous," with a heart that feels the truth, a mind that accepts no contradiction, and a spirit that knows abundance is inevitable. The words vibrate with creative force, and life hurries to prove them. Manifestation becomes rapid not because the world has changed but because alignment has removed resistance. Faith erases the delays of doubt, and conviction cancels the detours of fear. What could take months under hesitation can arrive in days under certainty. The invisible world moves faster than the visible, for thoughts and words travel instantly, while matter requires time to shift. Faith speeds the transition from the unseen to the seen, narrowing the gap until supply appears almost immediately. Conviction acts as the magnet, pulling opportunities, ideas, and resources into your orbit with astonishing speed. To one who doubts, 2 days may seem impossible for money to appear, but to one who believes, 2 days is more than enough. For faith does not calculate by human logic but by divine law. The moment you believe without wavering, manifestation begins, and the more complete your conviction, the faster it takes form. The law does not delay, it responds instantly, but it must move through your consciousness. If your consciousness is clear, the response is rapid. If your consciousness is clouded, the response is delayed. Faith clears, conviction steadies, and manifestation accelerates. Many misunderstand faith as passive wishing, but true faith is active knowing. It does not hope that abundance might come, it knows that abundance must come. It does not plead for supply, it claims supply is already present. Conviction is not timid, whispering, maybe, but bold, declaring, is so. When you speak in this spirit, money responds quickly because you have removed the resistance of uncertainty. Doubt is the great thief of manifestation, inserting delays, tangling the channels, and scattering the energy. Faith and conviction gather the energy, concentrate the vibration, and focus it like a beam of light, directing it straight to its target. The clearer the beam, the swifter the result. This is why some receive wealth overnight after a single declaration, while others struggle for years repeating the same words. The difference lies not in the words themselves, but in the faith and conviction behind them. Conviction does not waver when appearances seem contrary. You may declare, "I am abundant," and yet see bills piling or accounts empty. The untrained mind withdraws its faith in such moments, thinking the words are false. But the mind of conviction declares even louder in the face of lack, "I am abundant," knowing that the outer must yield to the inner. The outer is but a shadow, and the inner command reshapes it. Those who hold firm in conviction witness rapid manifestation, because they do not allow appearances to dilute their faith. They understand that appearances are temporary, but spiritual law is eternal. They speak as though the wealth is already theirs, feel the joy of it already received, and walk with the confidence of ownership. The universe responds swiftly to such certainty, for it mirrors the conviction. It is given. Faith is not limited by time, for time is a construct of the physical, while faith operates in the eternal. When you declare something with conviction, you step out of the timeline of delay and into the timeless reality of now. In the dimension of spirit, manifestation is instantaneous, and the physical realm then follows as quickly as it can align. This is why results can appear in mere days, because faith compresses time. To one without faith, wealth seems distant, requiring years of struggle, but to one with conviction, it is already here, requiring only the unveiling. The speed of manifestation is a reflection of the depth of your belief. A shallow belief produces slow trickles, an unshakable conviction produces sudden floods. The difference is not in the law but in the consciousness applying it. To activate rapid manifestation, you must enter into the feeling of already having that which you seek. Words spoken with faith are more than intellectual affirmations, they are emotional realities. When you say, "I am wealthy," with the joy and relief of already being wealthy, you magnetize that state into being. Conviction infuses the words with life, making them more than statements. They become experiences. The subconscious accepts feelings more readily than ideas, and faith translates words into feelings. This is why mere repetition without emotion is powerless, but repetition charged with faith becomes irresistible. Every time you feel the reality of your words, you carve deeper channels into your consciousness, until manifestation must rush to fill them. Rapid results are born when words, feelings, and belief are aligned without contradiction. Faith also requires surrender, for true conviction does not demand or control the method of manifestation. It simply knows the outcome is guaranteed, and allows the universe to arrange the details. Impatience and worry weaken faith by insisting on specific channels, but conviction trusts that the supply will come in perfect ways. When you release the how and hold only the certainty of the what, doors open swiftly that you could not have imagined. Money may arrive through unexpected gifts, sudden opportunities, forgotten debts repaid, or new ventures unfolding, but conviction does not care about the channel, only about the certainty of arrival. The less you resist with demands and doubts, the faster manifestation appears. Faith says, "It is done," and conviction rests in that truth until it shows up. When faith and conviction are practiced daily, they build momentum. Each time you witness even a small manifestation, your belief strengthens, and your conviction grows deeper. The more you see results, the faster they come, until manifestation becomes natural and effortless. Wealth then flows with the same certainty as the rising sun, because you no longer question whether it will arrive. You know it must. The universe has no choice but to reflect the conviction of your heart, and the stronger that conviction, the swifter the reflection. Faith and conviction are the twin pillars that activate rapid manifestation, turning spoken words into living realities, transforming desire into experience, and collapsing time so that what once seemed distant arrives in the blink of an eye. The universe aligns swiftly when you declare truth with authority, for truth is not a wish or a hope but an eternal law waiting to be spoken into form. When you open your mouth and proclaim abundance, health, success, or freedom with the tone of certainty, you are not begging the universe to respond. You are commanding it to reveal what already exists in the unseen. Authority is the voice of alignment, the sound of one who knows their rightful place as a creator. And when that voice is released, the entire cosmos organizes itself to match the decree. The stars, the seasons, the elements, and the flow of opportunities are not random accidents, but participants in a grand symphony. And your spoken truth is the conductor's baton that brings every instrument into harmony. Speak timidly, and the music falters. Speak with authority, and the orchestra rises to perform. Authority in speech is not about volume or force of personality. It is the calm conviction that comes from knowing spiritual law cannot fail. When you declare, "I am wealthy," not as a plea but as a truth, you are aligning yourself with the abundance that permeates the universe. When you say, "All that I need is here now," you are summoning hidden supply into visibility. The universe hears not only the words but the vibration behind them, and authority vibrates with power, commanding attention. Just as a soldier obeys a general without hesitation, so too does the universe obey a word spoken with conviction. Life itself bends around the authoritative decree, rearranging people, circumstances, and resources to fulfill it. Appearances of lack may persist for a moment, but they are fragile shadows, dissolving quickly in the presence of unwavering truth declared with authority. To declare truth with authority, one must first know the truth. The truth is abundance, not lack, health, not sickness, freedom, not bondage. The truth is that supply is infinite, waiting to flow where it is welcomed. The truth is that money, opportunities, and resources are not withheld, but are attracted by consciousness. When you declare from this knowing, you are not creating abundance from nothing. You are revealing abundance that already exists in the invisible realm. Authority is the recognition that you are not separate from supply but one with it, that your word is not begging from outside forces, but calling forth from within. The authority of truth does not waver when appearances contradict it, for it knows appearances are temporary. It speaks boldly in the face of lack, declaring wealth. It speaks boldly in the face of delay, declaring immediacy. It speaks boldly in the face of fear, declaring love. And because truth is eternal, the universe must align to it swiftly. The alignment of the universe is not slow or reluctant. It is instant, but the unfolding may appear gradual only because the human mind struggles with time and expectation. The decree, once spoken with authority, begins its work immediately, setting in motion a chain of events that often surprises the one who declared it. A sudden meeting, a chance conversation, an unexpected idea, or an unforeseen opportunity emerges, and all of it seems like coincidence to the untrained eye. But to the one who understands, it is the universe swiftly aligning to the authority of truth spoken aloud. Life is always listening, waiting for instruction. If your words are weak, filled with doubt, life gives you slow, uncertain results. If your words are strong, filled with faith, life rushes to respond. Authority requires consistency, for the universe aligns most powerfully with a steady vibration. To declare abundance one moment and complain of lack the next is to give conflicting orders, causing confusion and delay. But to stand firm, repeating the truth with confidence, even when nothing yet appears, is to demonstrate mastery. Each declaration strengthens the vibration, and each repetition builds momentum, until the universe can no longer resist, but must pour forth the manifestation. Authority is not shaken by waiting, for it knows the decree has already been heard. It continues to speak truth until the outer aligns with the inner. This consistency accelerates the process, for the universe responds most swiftly to clarity, and nothing is clearer than unwavering authority. The authority of truth carries a vibration that resonates beyond personal life. When you declare abundance with authority, you not only align your own affairs but also influence the atmosphere around you. Others may feel uplifted in your presence, doors may open for those connected to you, and opportunities may multiply for entire communities. Such is the power of authoritative truth, that it ripples outward, touching countless lives. When spoken without hesitation, it carries a weight that cannot be ignored. Money flows, doors open, obstacles dissolve, and delays vanish, because the universe prefers harmony, and truth declared with authority brings harmony wherever it is spoken. Consider how even in ordinary life, authority commands obedience. A teacher's voice quiets a room, a leader's decree moves nations, a judge's words alter destinies. If human authority wields such power, how much greater is the authority of spiritual truth spoken with conviction? When you say, "I prosper in all I do," you are not asking for permission, you are pronouncing a law. When you say, "The universe supplies me richly," you are not making a request, you are affirming reality. Life has no choice but to align, for truth spoken with authority is irresistible. It is not arrogance but divine confidence, the certainty that spiritual law responds unfailingly to the voice of conviction. The universe does not delay to test you. It aligns swiftly, waiting only for you to believe in the authority of your word. Authority also demands responsibility, for the universe will align with whatever truth you declare, whether it is expansive or limiting. If you declare, "I am always broke," you have spoken it with authority, and the universe aligns swiftly to deliver it. If you declare, "Nothing works out for me," life mirrors the decree. The law does not discriminate, it only obeys. This is why one must guard their tongue carefully, never speaking lightly of lack, never joking about failure, never giving power to words of limitation. Every word carries authority when spoken with belief, and the universe listens attentively. To speak wisely is to command wisely, and to command wisely is to shape life into abundance. The universe is swift in its obedience, but it is you who chooses the command. When you learn to declare truth with authority, doubt fades and confidence grows. You no longer wonder whether wealth will arrive, for you know it must. You no longer question whether opportunities will appear, for you know they are already aligning. You no longer chase, worry, or strain, for you know your word has set the universe in motion. This knowing frees you from fear, and allows you to walk with calm assurance, expecting miracles as natural occurrences. The authority of your word becomes your greatest treasure, for it places you in harmony with the creative force of the universe itself. And the more you use it, the more swiftly life aligns, until abundance flows with ease, opportunities multiply without effort, and prosperity becomes the natural condition of your existence. 3 sacred words unlock doors to immediate prosperity. For words carry within them vibrations that touch the deepest layers of consciousness and awaken forces that lie dormant, waiting to be called into action. The power of 3 is ancient, representing completeness, balance, and divine order, and when 3 words are spoken with faith and conviction, they create a triad of energy strong enough to dissolve barriers, attract opportunities, and manifest supply in ways that defy ordinary logic. These words are not chosen at random, they are imbued with spiritual law, aligned with the eternal truth of abundance, and designed to command the universe to yield its treasures. To utter them is to activate a key that fits perfectly into the lock of prosperity, swinging wide doors that once appeared sealed by limitation. Immediate prosperity is not a distant dream reserved for the fortunate few. It is a state of consciousness available to anyone who dares to speak with authority. The 3 sacred words are a direct call to the divine substance of supply, bypassing fear, doubt, and delay. They do not beg for money, for begging is weakness and weakness repels abundance. They do not plead with the universe, for pleading assumes separation. Instead, they command, they declare, they affirm what is eternally true. When spoken, these words remind the subconscious of its creative power and align it instantly with abundance. They send a vibration into the atmosphere that attracts wealth like a magnet draws metal. Money, opportunities, ideas, and resources begin to move toward the speaker, not slowly but rapidly, because truth requires no time to exist, it is already present. Waiting for acknowledgement, the doors to prosperity are often blocked not by external circumstances, but by internal walls of doubt, fear, and negative belief. The 3 sacred words act like a hammer that shatters those walls, releasing the flow of abundance that was always there. Each time they are spoken, resistance weakens and faith strengthens, until the walls collapse entirely. The subconscious, once trained by years of limitation, begins to accept a new reality, one of supply, wealth, and ease. The more these words are spoken with conviction, the more natural prosperity feels, and the more swiftly it manifests. Immediate prosperity does not mean the universe suddenly creates wealth from nothing, but rather that you suddenly align with what was always waiting for you. The words clear the channel, and the flow rushes through. Sacred words are unlike ordinary language, for they carry archetypal power. They resonate not only in the conscious mind, but also in the subconscious and the superconscious. They bridge the human and the divine, fusing thought with universal law. When spoken with full faith, the 3 sacred words create a resonance that vibrates through every layer of existence, calling wealth into visibility. They act as a decree, a spiritual order, commanding the servant of money to obey. Just as light instantly fills a room when a switch is flipped, so too does prosperity rush in when the words are spoken. The delay is only in the wavering of belief, the law itself responds instantly. Those who speak the words without faith see little, but those who speak them with authority see doors swing wide, sometimes within hours, sometimes within days, but always faster than logic would predict. The immediate nature of the prosperity that follows is a reflection of the completeness of the words themselves. 3 creates a pattern of harmony, 1 to initiate, 1 to sustain, 1 to complete. Spoken together, they form a circuit of energy that cannot be broken. The first word awakens consciousness, the second directs power, the third seals the decree. The combination creates an unshakable vibration, impossible for the universe to ignore. Every spoken word sends a signal into the field of creation, but these 3 words send a command, a royal proclamation. A sound so aligned with truth that reality has no choice but to conform. They are the voice of abundance itself. Spoken through the individual who dares to use them, the unlocking of doors is not merely metaphorical, but very real. People who speak the words with conviction may find unexpected checks arriving, forgotten debts repaid, promotions offered, or opportunities revealed that were hidden before. Paths that seemed blocked suddenly open. Conversations that seemed meaningless suddenly bear fruit. And obstacles that seemed immovable suddenly dissolve. This is because the doors were never locked by the universe, but by the consciousness of the individual. The words do not persuade the universe to give. They persuade the self to receive. The moment receiving is allowed, the flow is immediate, for supply has always been present in infinite abundance. The sacred words are the key that gives permission to let it in. Prosperity responds to clarity. And 3 sacred words create the clearest possible decree. They leave no room for doubt, no space for confusion, no cracks for fear to creep in. When spoken repeatedly with focus, they reprogram the subconscious mind, replacing years of poverty thinking with a new pattern of wealth consciousness. The subconscious, once converted, becomes a tireless servant, scanning the world for opportunities, attracting resources, and guiding actions toward abundance. The external results appear miraculous, but they are simply the natural outcome of an inner transformation. The words, spoken with faith, align every layer of your being with prosperity. And when alignment is complete, manifestation is rapid and inevitable. The sacredness of the words lies not only in their sound, but in the authority with which they are spoken. A timid repetition will not unlock doors, for a lock requires pressure to turn. But a bold declaration, charged with certainty, fits the key into the lock and swings it open. The authority comes from the recognition of spiritual law, the knowing that abundance is the natural state, and that poverty is an illusion. When you speak with that recognition, your voice carries the weight of truth, and the universe aligns instantly. The 3 sacred words are the most direct way to express that truth, and therefore they work faster than long prayers, complicated rituals, or endless affirmations. Simplicity is power, and 3 words are enough to move mountains of lack to those who doubt. The idea of immediate prosperity seems foolish, but doubt is itself the barrier. To those who believe, immediate prosperity is natural, for faith collapses time. The 3 sacred words are a tool for those ready to let go of doubt and embrace certainty. They require no special training, no elaborate preparation, only faith and conviction. When spoken with a heart full of belief, they begin working instantly, aligning circumstances, shifting perceptions, and drawing supply from unexpected sources. To speak them once with full faith is more powerful than to repeat 1,000 affirmations without belief. The law responds not to quantity but to quality, not to endless repetition but to conviction. 3 sacred words, spoken once with authority, can do more than hours of fearful wishing. Prosperity is a door that swings easily when the right key is used, and the 3 sacred words are that key. They bypass the locks of fear, dissolve the chains of doubt, and silence the voices of limitation. They remind the soul of its true nature, which is abundance, and they remind the universe of its role, which is to serve. Each time they are spoken, more doors open, more channels appear, more blessings flow. In 2 days, in 1 day, even in 1 moment, prosperity can flood into the life of the one who dares to speak with faith. The 3 sacred words are not magic, they are law, and when law is spoken with authority, it must obey. They are the essence of simplicity, the power of truth condensed into sound, the bridge between desire and fulfillment, the command that unlocks the treasury of heaven and pours it into the life of the believer.